What's up, guys? Welcome back to FishOfHex. Today we're going to be doing my rambling video. Now I usually have a list of things I want to talk about, but I just kind of going to go off the cuff this time. So if it's uploaded, then I guess it was good enough for YouTube, right? And yeah, so I really want to talk about the channel, kind of talk about some things that are going on here on YouTube, and really, I don't know, just kind of let some stuff out, I suppose. But yeah, so the channel itself is doing quite well. We are going to be 3 years in November, so we're kind of getting up on the 3-year mark, and the channel's been pretty successful. Now, it was a lot more successful earlier on, like between the 8K and the 13K range. I felt that subscribers had a little bit more audience retention, had some better views, and also subscriber count, and things have kind of tapered off. And I understand that it's because I've kind of drifted away from my original part of YouTube. But the reality is when YouTube started, or when I started YouTube, better yet, it was pretty much just sharing what I had going on here with my first tank, which that I put on YouTube, which was 125, and just showing you guys what I did, and it kind of progressed. And of course, sponsorships came in, which kind of changed what I was doing to a certain extent with those intros, and then we moved, and coral sales came up to kind of build the 300 gallons. So the business kind of evolved from that and changed. But I feel that I did drift away from my original content, which kind of brought in a lot of subscribers. And that is the stuff kind of like I posted the last 2 videos this week, was kind of really what I did earlier on. And I've seen some, some better retention on that, some better views and subscribers off of those videos. So I definitely don't mind making that content because it is a lot easier to edit and put that stuff together. But the thing is that I really couldn't control what way the channel's going, because I didn't know where it was going to go. I just kind of went with the flow, enjoyed the attention I was getting from other companies, and I enjoyed kind of the feeling of growing on YouTube. It's a great experience when you're creating content and people actually like it. Now, of course, I have to understand, on top of all that, that my channel serves a certain purpose. It's not really here for entertainment. I don't think anybody says, hey, I'm going to go watch FishOfHex's videos because they're super entertaining. That's not really what my niche is. My niche is kind of to get the content out as quickly as possible, straightforward to the point. And there's a lot of you guys that like that stuff, and I get comments consistently saying that they like that aspect of my channel. And unfortunately, when you have a channel that's kind of strict to the point and doesn't really go out and experience the world and show those types of things and kind of more of an entertainment, you lack the subscriber base and the progression, because I'm not out there doing that. But I mean, I could honestly go out and start going to fish stores and doing stuff and seeing new tanks and stuff like that, which I might do here in the future. But for right now, I kind of just want to stick to what I have going on because it works. I enjoy it, and to be honest with you, it's definitely outside my comfort zone to be in the public. Hence the reason why you guys don't see me in front of the camera, and that's something that I want to change as well. Is I want to be in front of the camera, and not so much to kind of take over what's going on, but it definitely aids in editing, and then you guys get some one-on-one with me, and you feel like you have that relationship, because there's not really many channels out there. I can't actually think of one that I watch that I don't see the person ever and has this many subscribers. I can't think of one. I'm sure there's plenty of them out there, but the reality is I have come pretty far without kind of being a one-on-one person, but I could see where it's starting to kind of taper off because I'm not kind of out in the eye there. And that's just part of the whole military thing. It's all part of what I was doing for a job before this, and it wasn't allowing me. I just didn't feel comfortable in the public eye, and then my job didn't allow me to be out there. For those of you guys who know what I do outside of this, or did outside of this, you understand what I'm talking about. So so we'll see. The changes are going to be here. Will YouTube be here in the next couple years? I have no idea. I guess deplatforming people might shy people away, and that's kind of what I want to talk about too, is that I've started uploading on a couple different sites on top of YouTube, and that is BitChute and Dailymotion. Now, not so much to get subscribers. I mean, that doesn't mean anything. It really comes down to just having my content out there, just in case something was to ever happen to either one of the 3 platforms. I'd still be able to have my content out there, because I don't save the videos. I simply upload them and then delete them from the computer, and then I kind of go about my business there. Now, something interesting about YouTube, and that I've kind of seen now that I've stepped back and I've kind of gone through the roller coaster of doing really well and not doing really well, and kind of in that intermediate phase. And when people are first starting out here, and I always tell anybody who wants to create for YouTube, and because I get questions all the time, either on Instagram or here, is, hey, I want to start a YouTube channel. What should I do? And it's pretty simple. Just create content that makes you happy. Who cares what everybody else thinks? Because you're never going to make everybody happy. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't like you, regardless of what you do or what you say. So don't try to be somebody else. Don't try to make other people's content. I mean, we can all go down certain themes because there's only so much you can talk about in a community or a hobby like ours. So a lot of us are going to talk about the same things, maybe add their own twist to it, but don't try to be exactly like another YouTuber because people will see through that stuff. They're going to see that you're a fraud, and then you're going to get kind of shunned. So I always recommend start off and just be yourself. Upload content. It will get better as you go. You'll learn new things. Like if you guys remember a couple years ago, I didn't have this mic and it sounded completely awful. I was using like a gaming headset or something. It was horrible. So I went out and spent a few $100s and got a better mic, and I think that my content has got better for that. And I guess the point of it is don't get caught up in the ups and downs of YouTube. Just enjoy the experience, because you never know when you won't ever upload again. You don't know when, you know, life will find something else for you to do, or you'll move on to something else. Because I know that YouTube right now is just something that I'm doing temporarily. This is not something I'm going to do for the rest of my life. This is just a stepping stone for what I plan on doing in the future. And I think everybody who creates content needs to not get caught up in you know, me movement, and I feel, you know, some kind of power because I have a certain amount of subscribers, or I feel like I know more than everybody else, so people look up to me. I think if people stepped away from that and just created content because they enjoyed it, and understand that YouTube is just a platform for ideas, and it's not going to be something you're going to do for the rest of your life. Maybe you might make a few million subscribers and you kind of make a life of it and you enjoy it that way, but that's not my plan. I don't think I'll ever hit 100K subs because I don't think that I have that niche or that personality that will attract people to me. But you never know. If it happens, it happens, and I'll be thankful if it does. But if it doesn't, I won't be upset, because I understand that this is just a platform for me to better my business, to provide food for my kids, to pay my bills, and to kind of live a life, a happy life, or at least to the best of my ability. And I mean, I'm what, 31, 32, you know, I keep saying that. I think I'm 31. I got to be 31. Anyways, I was born in 87, so I think I'm 31, yeah. Either way, I've learned, you know, since the deployment, I spent my 21st birthday on the side of a mountain, and you see things as a younger kid, and of course you grow up and you mature, and you understand that there's certain things about life that are important. And YouTube, yes, I enjoy it, but it's not that important. Again, I can stop uploading content today and I wouldn't regret any of it. And you just understand that you know, the biggest and most important things in life are taking care of your kids, if you have them, taking care of yourself, your health wise. Something that I've realized over the last couple of years, I've kind of let my health go down because I've pushed myself in other aspects. I'm not talking about here in YouTube, and I've kind of let myself go. I didn't go to the gym as much, and my health has suffered for it. And when you don't feel well and you look at your kids and you're like, oh crap, I'm going to keel over if I don't take care of myself. And those are the bigger things outside of YouTube that I think people don't think about because they get caught up in everything that's going on. And I don't know if any of this makes sense, but it's just kind of what's spinning around in my head here. So either way, let's go to move on to another topic. Now, I really want to ask you guys a question. What do you want to see in this channel? I want to have that one-on-one personal relationship with you, so I want to give you guys the content that you see. Because now that I have kind of reevaluated the channel, and I have a whole list here of at least 20 or 30 videos of things that I have to get done, that I feel that I have to get done, from the fish room and builds and all sorts of stuff. But if you guys don't want to see that type of content, there's no reason for me to spend the hours and hours and hours to make it if no one's interested in it. Now, I understand that the email Q&A is kind of slowly starting up. I am getting a whole bunch of emails in. I said hey bunch for a second there. A whole bunch of emails in, which I'm going to do that video probably tomorrow for a Friday upload. But I haven't been getting a ton of retention on that video, but maybe it just needs some time for it to kind of work up and people realize that they can get their questions answered via the email. But really what I want to know is what you guys want to see, because I want to move towards making that type of content. Because again, there's no reason to waste precious time on stuff that people really don't care about. So yeah, I guess I'll do a brief rundown on some of the systems here in the fish room. Now, you guys probably noticed on my yesterday's video that I showed you a brief clip of the 125-gallon planted tank, which is relatively new. I think it's about a month old right now, and the tank is doing quite well. I've actually I removed all the fish because I tried a new dirt substrate this time. It was still an organic substrate, but the amount of nutrients that are coming out of that substrate are a lot higher than what I've used in many of my other dirted builds. So I'm getting a little bit of excess nutrients. So what I decided to do is I kind of cranked up the CO2. I'm also dosing a liquid type of CO2, and I'm kind of burning out any algae that might start growing with the excess CO2, helping the plants outgrow it and kind of outcompete it, better yet. So I removed all the fish because I didn't want to take a chance of killing them with the extra CO2, because there is a fine line between giving your plants a good amount or a high amount of CO2 and then choking out your fish. So I didn't want to kill all my fish, so I removed them, put them in quarantine for at least the next month or so while I'm kind of battling these excess nutrients from this dirt substrate. And I will show you guys exactly what I used so you don't use it in the future. It will work. It will provide what I need for the plants to grow, but it's just going to take a little bit longer for me to get the excess nutrients out of that dirt substrate. And that's just kind of what it is when you try new things. I usually like to use the Miracle Grow organic potting mix, but they don't make that anymore. I've tried to get it all over the place. The only place I could get it, they wanted like triple the amount for the bag, and with this being a 125, it was going to cost me at least $150 for dirt, and I was like, no, I'll just go spend $4 and use that stuff and then just deal with the nutrients. But yeah, so the tank is doing quite well. Again, I removed all the fish, and they will be back in there in about a month. And right now I am doing a weekly water change. I would say probably about 50%, and yeah, it's doing quite well. It just, again, needs a little bit more time to get through those excess nutrients. Now, when it comes to the frag system, as I mentioned in the video yesterday, I am transitioning over to an algae scrubber from 302 Aquatics. You guys will see a whole rundown on this algae scrubber here in the next month or two, once it's established and we're going through the whole process, and I give you guys a full review on it. And yeah, I was dealing with a little bit of a nutrient issue because I removed the refugium, but things have gotten a lot better now that I've increased my water changes, as I mentioned in yesterday's video. So things are looking really good in the frag system. I did an awesome, huge, took all the racks out, water change yesterday, and just scrubbed it down because there's just some pockets in there that the flow doesn't get to, and you just let that build up over time. It just starts looking nasty. So I went in there and just did a full overhaul on the frag system, and everything looks so much better today. So in time, things will get better. I am getting a whole bunch of coral. I'm actually going over to Scott from Roscoe's Reef on Sunday. We're actually taking down his entire system, and I'll put a video up on why that's happening. There's some personal stuff going on his end, and I'm going to be selling his coral for him to raise money. And basically, I'm going to do a blowout video. I'm just going to do a huge blowout website-wise, and everything that's his will be marked, and then you guys will be, all that money will go directly to him to help him get through this time of need, in his time of need. So that's going to be happening Sunday. I'm hoping that video will be out by at least Tuesday or Wednesday of next week. I'm going to be cutting coral all day Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, just really knocking everything out, getting it on the website. He has a ton of great stuff, and I'm going to let him tell you guys what's going on, and I'm going to get some permission from him to discuss what's going on. But regardless, you know, when somebody's in time of need, sometimes you need to make sacrifices and help those people out. So that's exactly what's going to happen next week when I post that video, and I hope that you guys will be on board to help support him. All right, guys. But yeah, I think that's about it for this video. I've kind of talked for about 14 minutes or so, and yeah, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you later. All right, peace.